fairness. No, that's easy. They probably do. Do with this what I can. If the battery runs out, the battery runs out.
Can you hear over in the back? Louder. Is that the same? Thank you, waiter. I'm going to. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hannah and you, Seth. We've got a lot to get through this afternoon, but first of all, I'd like to say thank you very much for everyone for coming out here and making the effort. You've all been great fun right the way up to this day. See how it goes this evening. We've got quite a few speeches to get through, so Seth's going to say one, I'm going to say one. We've got Lee, we've got Beth, we've got Lexi, and we've got Jim and Finn. So, stick your drinks in. Before we get underway with all of that, we do have a birthday today. Maroon. Yes, can we have a it's a birthday. And we're going to have a special presentation. His name is Jamie. He's also known as Jimmy, Jimbo, James, Jim, Jim Lad, Del Boy, Derek Duval. It's Mr. Jamie Wilson's. Doing a presentation of his little grandkids of Lily. Come in. We've got and we've also got some sardines for dinner. Now, please, everybody, give Jamie the clap. You can tell them the clap for giving Jamie the clap. I'm going to hand the microphone over to Seth. He's got a few words. Thank you, man. I do think I'll get the clap on my wedding night.
What are you doing now? This is brilliant, overwhelming, but let's get on with it. So, ladies and gents, thank you all for being here today. It's genuinely the most touching experience both of us have had in our entire lives. Like to see all these faces, all mingling, is completely crazy.
On you, Spurs!
Cheers, Keith. So we're truly grateful each and every one of you for making the effort to come and celebrate with us today. People have flown in from all corners of the globe. London. What? Australia. India. And stays. Walked here the whole way from you. When Hannah and I first met on the mean streets of Oxford in 2015, it was very much a case of opposites attract. Boy likes Tottenham. No one likes Arsenal. Boy likes Oasis. Girl likes Blur. Boy likes putting his dirty cups in the dishwasher immediately. Girl likes collecting 15 of them on our bedside table.
That's what wives are for.
Concerning mates, and amongst all the bona fide geniuses, and let's face it, nerds at Oxford, Hannah and I soon found comfort in having someone to talk to about football, music, and the best pubs in Kingston. As our first year turned into our second, it didn't take long for our friendship to develop into something more. Before I knew it, we were spending our third year in adjoining rooms where Hannah cherished sitting and watching me play Football Manager until the early afternoon. At Oxford, Hannah had a pick of future prime ministers, CEOs, and billionaires. Now, I'll forever be grateful that she instead opted for the skinny bloke from Staines who only washed his bed sheets once a term. As our relationship progressed, it wasn't long before I was introduced to Hannah's family. Billing of her dad and brother is 6'3" die-hard Arsenal supporters, and this had me worried. Within 5 minutes of meeting Matt, Paul, and Lorraine, it was clear that these were lovely, genuine people who I'd get along with easily. I'm only happy to sit at bar 154 until 3 a.m. as we listen to 80s tunes. You were right in the Smiths book. For the uninitiated, that's Matt's home bar down the end of the garden, or as our friend Joe calls it, disco pod. Having spent most of her life surrounded by 3 irritating gooners, Lyle was very happy to have another Spurs fan in his team. Whenever we saw each other, our first few words were often another shit result of the weekend. Lyle was over the moon when I went round to Park Road to ask her and Matt for their blessings proposed to Hannah. But everyone for a dry wit, she did joke, when you were driving over, I thought you'd have all her stuff in the back of the car and be kicking her out. I'd like to take this opportunity to raise a glass to Hannah's family, in particular her lovely mum Lorraine, who's with all of us in our hearts today, to the Smiths. It was soon time for Hannah to meet my family, who instantly loved her. Having been raised by the ever-entertaining Matt, she wasn't put off by Leroy's famous antics. And she even thought a pint of whiskey was a normal measurement. After falling victim to a few of Lee's infamous tall stories, she quickly learned that in the Garley household, you can't be too gullible. And basically, not to leave a word that comes out of that twat's mouth. In my lovely mother, Helen, someone to gang up on me with. Mum, Dad, Kev, and Leroy, thank you for everything you do for Hannah and me. We love and appreciate you both so much. Let me mention this evening to my grandpa, Don Ross. Cyprus at 87 years of age. He's inspiration to both me and Hannah, and if we're still going on cycling trips around Europe at his age, we'll know we've done something right. And the last time Don was in Cyprus. He was on national service in the 1950s. Don't drop any plates near, or he might think a bomb's gone. So much to raise a glass to 2 other very special ladies who can't be with us tonight. My grandma Leslie and my nanny Maureen. 2 true legends of the game who I know are smiling both on Hannah and I today. Here's to Leslie and Maureen. As well as family, Hannah and I have had the privilege of meeting a whole new set of friends through each other. To Hannah's bridesmaids, Beth, Lexi, Izzy, Anita, and Ray. thank you so much for your love and support and for making sure Hannah doesn't fall over in her heels. Special mention to lovely Beth and Lexi, who've been Hannah's partners in crime and quite a lot of fucking chaos over the years. Wait till Rizzle Kicks comes on later. You might witness the true carnage. I can't also get through this speech without mentioning my two best mates and best men. Finn and Jim over here. Thank you, boys, for putting up with my shit chat for 26 years and for all the love and support you've given to Hannah and me. We love you both. And Finn, I'm sorry for walloping you around the ear with that stick going before. It's a shame I can't mention every single one of you here by name and go through you all, because the reason you're all here is because we all care and love all of you so much. I'm not a man for a lot of words, but thank you so much from the bottom of both our hearts. It's amazing, incredible, crazy, and a bit boozy. So thank you. Now, finally, back to my beautiful wife, Hannah, Mrs. Garlic. Love you so much. I can't wait for the rest of our lives together. If we could all raise our glasses once more to Mrs. Hannah Garlic. One more thing. I was limited about how much Spurs I was meant to put in this, but three things. Champions in Europe, we know what we are. We know what we are. We know what we are. Champions in Europe, we know what we are. But I'm going to go now before someone glances at me. Thank you very much.
And that was wonderful. Not when that last bit. Oh, yes, yeah. So, first of all, a tribute to the bride. Little Hannah Smith. Didn't she look beautiful today? The set cuts on, Lorraine will be looking down upon it this day. She'll have a glass of Pinot Grigio in one hand, cigarette in the other, a scarf around her neck, but she would be very, very proud of her. So we're going to move on. We've got a show and tell. Yes, a show and tell. I've had one of those since school, haven't you, Jamie? So I've got a few little bits and pieces in here that we're going to start off with. Now, when Hannah was aged 2, she was always a very clever one, and she actually started trying to teach me to read. And it was Thomas the Tank Engine. And she would say, "Who's that, Daddy?" I would say, "That's Thomas." She would say, "Well done, Daddy." What she actually really meant to say was, "You're not as thick and stupid as you actually looked at." There. We've got something else in the show and tell. I've been singing for a while. This is. So this is a bag of marbles here. So when Hannah was about 8 years old, she put some tickets together, handwritten for me and Lorraine, and said, "You've been invited to a magic show." So this is wonderful. So they lined up 2 chairs after we received the tickets, and then me and Lorraine sat down in the 2 chairs. They went behind the curtains of the living room. There was some sniggering going on. Then all of a sudden, Hannah comes back from beyond the curtain and says, "Ladies and gentlemen, the magic show begins." Anyway, we both clapped with anticipation. Little Paul Smith, white blonde hair, and magician's cape, wand in one hand, bag of marbles in the other hand. He's come straight up to me and he's gone, "Smash." That's something from us, but you older ones. It was like something from the film Scum. It's been right since that happened. Anyway, there's the marble. Don't hit me with it. Next up, we have a Vespa scooter. We have a scooter. So I bought this Vespa down in Brighton. It was my pride and joy. I rode it home on a Friday night after getting the train down there to pick it up. It was pristine. Anyway, Hannah and Paul were just getting dropped off by a friend with their mum. I was on the drive with the Vespa. It was still ticking over. Paul came over. I said, "Would you like to rev it up?" He said, "Yes, Daddy." So he went, gave it a rev. Very pleased with himself. All of a sudden, Hannah thought, "I'm going to have a go at that." So those of you who don't know Vespas, they've got throttle that side, gears that side. Hannah's gone straight for the throttle and gone, the scooter's gone, and down it went. Hannah ran off in tears. I was looking stunned and in tears. Vespa on the floor. There's the best thing. Hannah got a little bit older. She got into fashion. You know how it is. And she formed a little dance troupe. It was a dance troupe, and it was also, it's like detective agency as well, with Lexi over here. And they were called Risk and Hazard. Risk and Hazard. You'll see Risk and Hazard on the dance floor later, I'm sure, with the hat on. Send that one over to you next. We're going to welcome the group. So as Seth said, we do have a little bar at the end of the garden. And one of his early initiations was, after about 5 cans of Stella, wasn't it? 5 cans of Stella, he had to balance this little bottle opener, which is a little red man, on his head whilst dancing. Well, yes, ladies and gentlemen. That little bottle opener is flown in all the way from Kingston. Here it is. Put him on your head. There it is. Right, that's what you have to do. So we are, so Seth is an absolute legend. The rain used to call him Saint Seth for having put up with Hannah. That he has. But no, what a fantastic son-in-law to have. Absolute legend. That is great. A great guy. Also, I'd like to welcome the Garley family who have joined. They've joined forces, 2 powerful families with the Smith family, so we're in Game of Thrones. Lee is an absolute legend. He likes his football, he likes his drinking, he likes his partying. What's not to like? Helen, she likes her dancing, she loves the jam and Paul Weller, she likes her partying and her drinking. Perfect. I've just got a couple of other things to mention. First of all, thanks to Jim, Finn and Christy for arranging the stag. Can we have that one more time? We have a special present here somewhere.
The chair.
For the chairman of the stag here.
Chairman Luke.
There it is. Me and Ty, wherever he is, we won the dance, didn't we, Ty? Oh yes, we were brilliant in that. So I think that's probably all I've got to say. I was going to say, please can we raise a glass to Hannah's mum, Lowell, to Lorraine, so please raise a glass, and to absent friends. To the left. And I'd like to also toast the new happy couple, Seth, you, Seth, and Hannah. Thank you. I'm going to hand over the microphone and we head over to Lee to say a few words.
Next Sarah, lovely.
Well, where do I start in this 8-year romance? Love affair set against the fires of Oxford. I think I'll start at the beginning. I'll never forget dropping Seth off on his first day at Mansfield College. Wasn't you? What he said about me, it's not all made up. His little nervous face. Matt was dropping Hannah off at the same time. I saw a big gleaming smile come out of the car. He wandered over to me. He said, Leroy, do you fancy a pond? I said, I do. I think that turns out we've got the same hobbies. We both think it's important of all. Okay, I can see your eyes staring at me now. That said to me, it's not all about you, mate. Get up, say something up about Hannah and Seth, sit there. So Hannah's quite easy. She is the most beautiful person inside and out I've ever met in my life. She's got a great job. She's clever. She's socially conscious is unbelievable. She's got a great set of mates, lovely family. It's unbelievable. I want to say something about Seth. Before I start on this 5-minute character assassination, I want you to know I love you, and you've got some good traits. But that's the best men's responsibility to sort those out. So the truth is, you've always reminded me and your mum of that little Roly dog from the 101 Dalmatians. For those of you who don't know the story, Pongo, well, you can tell what sort of Dalmatian he is by his name. He was on a walk and he met a Dalmatian, a posh Dalmatian called Perdita. The sort of Dalmatian that does ballet, went to a convent school, dad's a JP. Anyway, to cut a long story short, they have a couple of they have a litter, and the last one of the litter is called Rolly. He's a little hungry, lazy. If you're lost with the analogy, he's the fat, lazy one. So, a little bit of stories about Ian will demonstrate this. When he was a kid, he was always hangry. If you didn't feed him, he literally got really mad. There was one day when we got invited to some friend's house for dinner. It was 5 o'clock on a Friday. We're thinking, well, we're going to get some food. But we didn't get any food. He was fuming. It was a bit like, it wasn't, I'm hungry, Mama, I really am. It was much worse than that. Also, by the time he's 4, we're all terrified of him. We decided to stop at Village Pizza in Egham to buy him a pizza. Yeah, that one. Yeah, you know where it is. So he bought him a pizza, gave it to him, and he took one look at this pizza and he briefly did it. Oh, God, cut off. I don't blame you. It won't go down like this. Anyway, he got this pizza and he looked at him, briefed it. He looks at him and went, I want a proper dinner. Lazy doesn't do. He can't. That's not. He didn't have right to show how lazy he was. He. Do you remember? You know, everyone's had kids. They have these little push chairs that they put them in. Well, we couldn't get him out of it. And then we go, hey, why don't you run around with the other kids? And he's going, no. He's wedged in it about 8, stubbornly refusing to get out of this push chair. I see a few men across. Oh, I'm not that bad. I saw a few men across Pumas here. Yes. So there's a few men across Pumas here, and I remember one day he's come back there, his little tail's wagging, and he's gone, oh, Dad, we're going to start a football team up. Will and Tom are playing, Sean, Andy's going to manage it. And I've gone, what about Jack and Will? They're only decent footballers in your team. And so they're all playing for Staines What fun. We thought what was going to happen is, because he's so lazy, he might run around a bit. How wrong we were. What followed was a catalogue of humiliation and disaster. The football match would kick off. Within 5 minutes, he'd be rolling around, histrionics, pretending he was injured, trying to get himself subbed off. Like, imagine Pedro Porro. He's going, oh, mate, I'm injured. Andy would be there going frantically, going, oh, Seth, you can run it off. We've only got Beans. We've only got Beans on the bench. Beans is Declan Rice. Spannercroft was answered Declan Rice. Except if you imagine Declan Rice just ran around, didn't run around anywhere, and he just had a packet of Walker's crisps in his hand. And he was going, and then this is the first time we realised he had a crafty intelligence about him. He'd go, oh, broken my arm, broken my wrist, Dad, I've broken my wrist. I
did actually break my wrist and refused to take these hospital.
No. He broke his leg. Steve-O broke his leg. Where's Drinky? Drinky dived into an empty... Drinky dived into an empty swimming pool in Bulgaria, cracked his skull, and got airlifted out. That is a proper injury, not fracturing your wrist. I think I've said enough. I would like everyone to charge their glasses and think a toast to Seth and Hannah. And there's one Spurs fan who's not here tonight who'd have loved to have been here, and that's Leslie. Let's drink a toast to Leslie. Leslie. Oh, yeah, well, I was going to do that, but your dad did that. Lorraine and Leslie, sorry. Lorraine and Leslie. Now we have from young junior gunner. 2, grown up, beautiful Guna. Here she is, Lady Beth Taylor.
About any of them speeches, but here we go. So, hello everyone. When Hannah asked me to do a speech, I thought, what does Maid of Honour say? So I thought I'm just going to copy the basic format of a wedding speech. So first of all, the bride. I think we can all agree the bride looks absolutely beautiful. Following into next, the bridesmaids who look absolutely stunning. And then lastly, the groom, do scrub up, absolutely amazing. This is what I was going to say. Now, I'm going to even feature that, which I'm sure you can find, but I'm going to carry on. So, I'm going to start a speech. I'm going to start my first cheers. It's a bit of an unusual one. And I just want to do a cheers to mine and Hannah's dads. Because if it wasn't for them meeting at the, let's get this fact check correct, at the 1988 Arsenal Luton game, Hannah and I would have been friends for 23 years. So we do a cheers to Mr. Matt Smith and Mr. Paul Taylor. So Hannah and I, as you've gathered, we've met at Arsenal and we've got loads of football memories together, from chasing the players down the street to our dad shoving us on a pub garden table singing "We Love You, Freddie" with red hair dye in our hair. But being friends for so long means we've got so many more memories together. And I think one of our favourite memories would be the dads and kids annual camping trip, which I'm very unsure how our mums allowed our dads to take us away for the weekend, and also how no one ended up in hospital, but just very, very, very ill. But Hannah and Paul, I think we both agree, this is by far the best dads and kids trip to date. I'm so lucky to have known Hannah for so long. I can't wait to see the next chapter for you two, the married couple, and many more memories. So I'm going to cut this short because I know we've got more speeches. But I want to say this wedding has brought together old friends, new friends, and the friends that are like family. So here's to Hannah and Seth of a life of love, happiness, and lots of fun. And thank you for today and this whole trip. We've all had our laughs. Cheers.
Hey, big round of applause.
To you. Oh, yeah. Next on the mic, Lexi.
Reminded me of the very drunk girl from the other day. I've kept it together today. Okay, so I'm Sex on the Beach. 8 years ago, my beautiful, blonde, long-legged, clever, hilarious best friend messaged me to say that she spent the Easter holidays with the boys. Her friend Seth, but she did tell me it's probably not going anywhere. Could all be a bit strange. Not sure, but she did say she'd keep me updated. I never did get that update. Do we like him? Okay, great. Seth, when you and Hannah first started hanging out, obviously we all, and I'd met you, but we all looked you up in the group chat, and then you were Hannah's friend with Rachel. I'm so proud to say you know Hannah's husband with the great jawline. I have so many endless, hilarious memories of my dear Has. We've hiked to the Middle East together. We partied all night in East Asia, and we were meant to be at a birthday party. We've been a renowned dance and rap duo. And just been general nuisances absolutely everywhere that we've been. I'm so proud to watch you marry the love of your life, your first boyfriend, dear Seth, who, despite being an esteemed accountant, could never account for how much he would love Hannah. I'll keep it short. I'll just end by saying, when I was younger and I used to go around Hannah's house, and I absolutely loved it. I thought Matt and Lorraine always were so funny. They always had music going. They had so many friends. And I can't wait to be that to you guys. I'm going to be sleeping on your sofa for decades to come. Thank you.
We're going to send it down the line. We've got Jimbo and Finbo. Two left to go. Yeah, I think we're going to start with Jim. Big round of applause for him, please.
All right, so thanks everyone. This took a bit of writing and deleting, so we'll see how we get on, eh? So good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name's James, and for those of you who do, it's Jim. And I've had the pleasure and the privilege of knowing Seth most of my life. In fact, I've known him so long, I don't know when I first met him. Sorry, shaking. But what I do remember, without a doubt, is how much being his best mate has shaped who I am today. Growing up alongside someone like Seth, someone loyal, sharp, and always unapologetically himself, has been one of the constants in my life, and something I'll always be grateful for. So firstly, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who's organised this incredible day as we celebrate the marriage of Seth and Hannah. And a huge thank you to Seth for choosing Finn and me to stand by your side as your best man. Men. It's an honour we don't take lightly. And of course, I have to take a moment to compliment the entire bridal party. You all look absolutely stunning. And Hannah, you look truly breathtaking today. Seth, you were very lucky. Lucky not only because you get to marry someone so kind, brilliant, and beautiful as Hannah, but also because somehow she didn't change her mind. Even after all the gloating you've been doing since Spurs' triumph in Europe. Honestly, that might be the most impressive part of the entire day. Now, on to Seth. If I were to go through every story of us enjoying ourselves, talking for hours, or getting a bit too drunk, we'd be here for months, and we definitely miss dinner. So instead, I'll share one that sticks in my mind for all the right reasons. Porto. Now, as a few of you will remember, despite England playing some of the worst football we've ever seen, and the rain that didn't let up for days, it was absolutely superb. From the chicken roll incident, to getting pissed in a bakery, to maybe taking things a bit too seriously against a group of Portuguese teenagers in cage football. It was the kind of trip where every moment became a memory. But it was those late nights when the rest of the group had gone to bed, and it was just me, Finn, and Seth still out that stand out the most. There was the guy serving food who looked uncannily like a chubbier John Travolta, whom Seth hilariously nicknamed John Travolting. And of course, that iconic photo of Seth holding the MK Don scarf alongside me, somehow wearing a motorbike helmet that came from fuck knows where. These are the moments that stay with you. Moments full of laughter, joy, and the kind of carefree happiness you only get when you're surrounded by your best mates. I'll carry these memories with me forever. Not just because of what we did, but because of who I was lucky enough to do it with. I still remember the first time I met Hannah, when I visited Seth at Oxford. From the very beginning, I was taken aback by her warmth and genuine effort to ensure that every one of Seth's friends from back home felt completely welcome. It speaks volumes about the kind of person she is. Kind, thoughtful, and full of grace. And honestly, And honestly, from that very first meeting, it was very clear to me that she and Seth were something special. It just made sense. You could see, even then, that this was something real, something that would last. Since then, my girlfriend Gina and I have had the joy of spending countless days, evenings, and holidays together with Seth and Hannah, drinking, eating, talking, and laughing for hours on end. From meals and pub nights in Twickenham, to visiting what we were told was the Sahara in Marrakesh, which unfortunately looked somewhat like a Tesco's car park. And now at this wonderful venue in Cyprus. Those memories are some of our favourites, not just because of where we were, but because of who we were with. Two of you have a way of making everyone around you feel part of something, like family. Seth, I've seen you at every stage of your life, from wild days and nights in Liverpool and pub crawls across London, where we started drinking probably a little bit too early, and quiet moments in the King's Fairway, and from uncertain beginnings to becoming the man you are today. And Hannah, from the day you came into his life, I can see that Seth had become more complete and the best version of himself. And that, I suppose, is what real love does. It doesn't just find you, but it builds you. So today, let's raise our glasses to the wonderful and now officially married couple, Seth and Hannah. May your life together be full of love, laughter, and little moments that make it truly meaningful. To Seth and Hannah, here's to your forever. Cheers. We've had followed Lee instead of Jim. Everyone's keen to carry on drinking and eating and stuff, so I'll try and be. I'd first like to say, also I'm a bit of a crier, so you're going to have to bear with me. I'd like to say how amazing Hannah, the bridesmaids, everyone else here looks, especially you from the front, you're amazing. Maybe technically seen our best friends get married. I'm not going to make an immediate toast for something I know will be a Seth's mine, even with all the wedding going on. That's the Tottenham Hotspur for finally won a trophy this season. So to the Tottenham Hotspur, come on you Spurs. What an honour it is to be one of Steph's best men alongside my cousin Jim. Seth is one of the very best people you meet in life, and I'm fortunate enough to have him as a constant. I also think he felt obligated after I got his name tattooed on my leg. For those who don't know, Seth and I became friends. It actually goes far beyond our years, even before we were born. We're our mums, who were born just one day apart, formed an eternal friendship that stretched their children, and I know it'll carry on beyond mine and Seth too. It's shaking like a shitting dog. This is my first time writing a best man speech, and naturally I'm extremely nervous. The writing process is difficult. Where are you meant to start these? I started off by going through our photos and tried to get some inspiration from best man speech worthy stories, but our friendship goes well beyond my iCloud history. FYI, the photo that came up first was me, you, and drinking in Liverpool Pop World in 2018. The day that Wanyama scored a screamer, Salah scored a late, what we thought was winner, and then we stormed out the stadium to see that Kane had scored 95th minute equaliser. For Jim to shout one of the roughest areas of Liverpool, ha ha ha, F off you scousers. Some things never change. Then I thought about some of my earliest memories, and the instant one was when you swung a massive stick you had in your hands. I reckon Lee was responsible for watching us for that one. And it whacked me round the head. Funny enough, you mentioned that today. I also have a scar on my ear to stay to prove it. I also thought the earliest memories of my life were our parents dressing us up, all of my brothers, in matching baby Gap sailor t-shirts and outrageous bowl cuts. There are other great memories like us playing Murder in the Dark, playing video games with Connor and Jonas, being around your house on Christmas Eve when Lee would get all the kids at the top of the stairs, shake a bottle of champagne, fire the cork up the top of the stairs, and whoever caught it got 20 quid. I was actually 13, Seth and I were cousins about the age of 12. I even call you my cousin now just to make things easier. After so many happy memories growing up, there were some extremely difficult years that followed after I lost my mum, and you lost her too. I'd like to first say thank you for helping me get through that difficult time. My mum used to speak about when she was growing up and lost her mum, and how much your mum helped mine. Went to Us Malloys had to lean on Ross / Garley's a lot in our life. We all love you so much. Even when Lee is being incredibly strange and inappropriate. FYI. But anyone planning on speaking to Lee this evening, do not say Wayne Rooney is better than Paul Gaston. He will smash his chair over your head. As brave as Scouts, I learned the hard way up in Liverpool. I can sort of end this here about memories Seth and I shared over the years, but I'll fast forward a few years to our late teens up to now. Pretty much since we've grown up into what our mums were at our age, best friends, but also drinking and partying partners. Tying it back to our pot road trip from earlier, we frequently enjoyed going around watching Spurs and Daily Alley at their best, across some of the most exotic locations the world has to offer, such as Burnley and Stoke. Not only did we go to football, we made sure to attend the shittest nightclubs we could find in said areas. There are a few people in the room who have joined us on these infamous nights out. We even made it overseas watching England and Portugal too. These have been some of the best days of my life. Our late teens was also the time Hannah was introduced to my life, and also yours too. The other way around, really. The first time I met Hannah was yet another glorious location, the George in Staines. At the time, you said you were just good friends. When that night turned into drinky begging people to stop him ordering a bottle of Prosecco, despite no one encouraging once, even going up to the bar, only to be refused being too drunk, the barman said again, "What do you want, mate?" "Foster's a lime, please, mate." I wasn't so sure that Hannah would stick around there with your mates alive. Clearly, Hannah did, despite your friends being absolute wrong-uns, and you're worth this relationship with. I'm eternally grateful and very happy with that. Hannah is another person us Malloys can rely on. The driver behind a good night out festival, an excellent partner in Mr. Sheep, the last up to ensure she gets all the fun you can from life, and in that moment, today, my family and a beautiful ride. It was so amazing. You can stay up till 6 AM, go to Zimba at 7:30, have a 10-kilometre walk, and then a light brunch, and then you wake me up as you return from your morning ventures. With me feeling horrific on the sofa. Hannah is Oxford educated, but I beat the party trains. The introduction of Hannah into my life has meant those nights the worst establishments in the UK turned into amazing music events, including Glastonbury. The first Glastonbury started off with a treat as we found someone's phone on the floor, but we didn't want them to miss out perhaps the fun, so we took it around with us and we did it on their behalf. The only caveat was we were in every photo. One of them is a massive had to be there, but I have a cat purse, which people probably know of. And Hannah and I took it upon ourselves in every spotting to hide behind the cat purse, clearly, and jump out and go, "I'm actually a human." Not very funny, but it is for us. Another memory of ours that I absolutely cherish was also at Glastonbury, where you and I would sing the lyrics, "I'm wicked and I'm crazy," and repeat all morning. Until later that day, whilst at camp, we put on Spotify to realise the lyrics were "Wicked and Lazy." That same night, we stumbled to a secret law concert, tunneled to one of the corners onto a rabbit hole stage. We enjoyed the music, but we laughed more than I ever laughed in my life. You randomly leant into me and told me that your parents told you when you were a child, you ate too many crisps, you turned into a midget. As the night went on and we were all feeling slightly more under the influence, a surprise set followed by Fatboy Slim. For me, you and Steph and about 40 other people, and he played Lazy. Very spooky. That was one of the most euphoric moments I've ever experienced. It was one of the best nights of my life. I'm sorry for the continual talk of Glastonbury, but I don't want to do a best man speech without including one of our most embarrassments. As Seth and I, a few days into the festival, decided it was about time we had a wash. But we were avoiding the communal showers, so we decided to strip down into our pants at the campsite, took turns of getting on all fours as the other one poured water overhead and washed one another's hair. A real sight to behold for our fellow campers and other festival goers. Those few anecdotes are a great summary of Hannah and Seth. Two people live life to the absolute fullest, making each other laugh constantly, going on the most amazing holidays, constantly attending gigs, going for walks, going to the Isle of Wight with Hannah's parents to join the rest of the scooter crew with Lorraine and Matt that spent their lives with.
I know you two already have made so many precious memories that most will be satisfied with for a lifetime, but you continue to make so many wonderful memories together, now as much more mine. I feel so lucky to have Seth and Hannah in my life. They're my best friends, my cousins, the people who rub my back as I throw up again and again and again. The couple who inspire me to work hard, go make memories, and also people there whenever needed. Seth and Hannah, I wish you all the happiness in the world in your marriage. I'm no longer a man who can stay up to 6 a.m, but I reckon we've got a few more up our sleeves together. I love you both so much, Hannah and Seth. Who's next?
The big Slater, he's the DJ. Thanks for all of those, everyone. Great speeches, everyone. Thank you for all your participation, everyone. Get yourselves on the dance floor after a little bit of food. I've got one question, well, Paul's actually got a question, and it is. What's the question?
Jamie, I think you might know the answer. What do you think of Tottenham?
What do you think of Seth? Thank you. Can't take it on to anywhere. Anyway, enjoy your evening, everyone. Thanks very much.
About to die. We're going up table by saying, yeah. So you've got to, and then I'll tell people. Just sort of say. So bring our plates. Yeah. So bring your plates, we go up.
Yeah.
Oh,